Hi guys, I'm down at Methil Sea Cadets today with the CEO, Kevin Waters. We're going to be speaking about the Methil Sea Cadets, what they do. I was amazed actually to find out some of the things that they actually do. I just thought it was a basic, like BBs or something like that. But I tell you what, these are formal qualifications that these cadets can get. It's an amazing opportunity and we're going to check them out. There's got a Facebook post on the link on this page to the Facebook page itself, and you can check them out yourself. But over to Kevin, we're going to speak to him, and we've got some of the people here to... Hi Kevin, how are you?
I'm fine, Jim, how's yourself?
Yeah, fantastic, thanks. Yeah. So tell us a bit more about the Methil Sea Cadets. I was quite amazed to find out all the things that were going on.
Methil Sea Cadets is open to youngsters aged between 10 and 17, boys and girls. No discrimination at all, any ability. We welcome everybody in. We're a very inclusive organisation. We start off at 10 to 12. We have our junior section. We've got two of our juniors here today, Peter and Lincoln.
Who's this we've got today with us then?
Peter and Lincoln, they're part of our junior section. They've been with us quite recently in the last few months, joined us just after lockdown. And we've got two of our senior cadets who are from 12 to 17. We've got Casey and James. So the senior cadets, they work on a programme that allows them to get promoted, and they can also gain, like you said earlier, formal qualifications that are recognised internationally and by the SQA as well. Just by coming down on the 2 nights a week that we're here, a Monday and a Wednesday.
What like is the formal, when you mention formal qualifications, what are the qualifications?
The qualifications we gain are BTECs, which are through the CBQO. So just by coming down and doing what we normally do on a parade night and doing an extra couple of hours work at home, we try not to give too much homework because we get enough from school. And we try and keep it all practical as well. So they can gain a BTEC level 2 in teamwork and leadership, which is equivalent to NAT 5s. Or intermediate ones, depending on what level you do. So it is recognised qualifications which can help gain employment when...
And this is just outside normal day-to-day school?
Outside normal day-to-day school, coming down and doing and having fun and getting involved with the cadets. Junior cadets, they've got a separate programme which is all based on fun and interaction. So they have 4 sections: a waterboarding section which is all about getting on the water, getting wet, getting on the boats. A unit section which is all about the history of the Navy and the unit itself. Community section, which is about our local community, being involved in community activities such as the Remembrance Day events that we do. And the green outdoors section, which we take them out and we teach them some life skills outside, how to build campfires, how to build a tent, and how to build shelter and things like that, and how to prepare for being outdoors. So their programme's a bit more based on fun and practice, and the senior cadet programme is more formal, about gaining rank and qualification.
This must be pretty enjoyable, because I heard you've been here since 10 years old.
I have, yes. I started off at 10 as a junior cadet like Lincoln and Peter. Worked my way up to a senior cadet, and then I left and went away to uni, and then came back after I finished uni and became an instructor.
And how did you feel this contributed to you? I
think being here, having the discipline and the respect and the core skills and the life skills that it gives you, kind of sets you up for going out into the big bad world. Going away in courses, going away down to the other end of the country when you're 13, 14-year-old on your own, kind of prepares you for being out in the world. James and Casey did that themselves about 3 years ago. Travelled from Edinburgh down to Portsmouth to spend a week at HMS Raleigh, doing an introduction to the Royal Navy. So they did that in 3 or 4 train journeys, train changes, getting lost at a train station, and so all part of life and learning and growing up.
And what age are you guys?
I'm 15. I'm 16.
See, 15 and 16-year-old, I would never have done things like that. I just wouldn't have the confidence at all. And I think that's generally what this will do for you.
Definitely. I think the parents were probably a bit more panicked and worried than the kids were being on the train. So James has also got a BTEC level 2 in teamwork and leadership, which is from the Cadet Vocational Qualification Office. So that goes towards his SQA points and stuff as well for what he wants to do in life. And Casey has recently gained our first aid at work qualification, just by spending a weekend up at Perth Sea Cadet Unit and doing a first aid qualification there. So.
And for you guys, what appealed for you to come here? What was it?
Probably them coming to my school.
Just someone coming to your school and just explaining all about it,
Well, I never really, I knew this place was here, but I never knew anyone from here until I met a former cadet who was here, and she told me everything that went on. So I came down one night, checked it out, and loved it and stayed ever since.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It is the fact that you don't realise what's here until you actually go and check it out. So for anybody watching, I would probably, the thing I would be doing is encourage them just to check it out and find out more information. So how would they check that out then, Kevin? What's the procedure?
Probably our Facebook page would be the first port of call.
Yep.
Our Facebook page has got all the activities and photographs and everything that we get up to on there. And then following that, there's a link on there that takes them to an online forum, which then gives us a notification down here, and we'd invite you down for a visit, or pop down on a Monday or a Wednesday night. We're here from 7:15 to 9:30 on a Monday and a Wednesday.
And generally, most people out there, it's fear. It holds them back.
Exactly.
And what would you say to people that actually have that fear?
Just pop in and see us. You never know if you're going to like it until you try it. So yeah, we're very welcoming. Kettle's always on.
It's taking that first step, isn't it? Just to inquire, or even just message you direct.
Exactly. Yeah. Drop a message to the Facebook page, and what else will get back in touch. And even if you want to come down when there's nobody else here, we can arrange that as well. So, yeah.
Thanks very much, guys. Are you going to take me on the wee tour about this place?
I'm not, Jim. I'm going to get these two senior cadets to take you on a wee tour of the building.
Okay.
I'll follow along behind you, and
perfect.
Just in case there's any questions to get stuck with, but we'll take you on a wee wander around.
So you'll possibly need to do the talking because you've got the microphone. So are you guys going to take me around and show them all about the place?
We'll start down at the galley. So there's some terms, Jim, we might mention which might seem a bit foreign to the viewers, because we base a lot of things on the traditions and the customs of the Navy, but we will explain them as we go. So we are heading into what we call the galley, which is the kitchen. So in here, the cadets have the opportunity to do basic and intermediate catering.
Right, okay. Yep.
So we have a fully functioning kitchen, as you can see. 2 or 3 times a year we do have big functions, so we have a burn supper. In January, we normally have that in conjunction with the air cadets at Leiden. And we have a mess dinner in the summer as well, which celebrates the unit's birthday in July, so that's just like a formal dinner evening. And we try and get the cadets in here, along with a couple of staff, doing all the catering, doing all the meals, the whole lot, from prep right through to serving. So they do get qualifications in that as well. And they get their health and hygiene, which is the recognised qualification out of that. If they go on to do their advanced catering, which can be delivered at a national level, they can get a recognised catering qualification out of that as well, which if they want to go down that route for employment or anything like that, then it does stand them in good stead to show them what a working kitchen is like. I
tell you what it does, because as an employer, I would be fairly impressed if somebody came along and says they've got qualifications already. Like that, because you know, exams are all great at school, but the reality, this is practical, on the boots on the ground.
It is, hands-on, definitely, and having a function where you've got maybe 100 people out on the floor, and you're trying to do 100 starters, 100 mains, and you've got 3 or 4 people in this small space. And our catering instructor he's an ex-chef, so he has worked in the industry himself, so he knows what the staff are looking for if they are looking for employment. Casey currently works up at the Bunnybank Inn, and I think from the qualifications gained in the units, probably stood her in good stead for working with the public as well, because we are out and about quite a bit. We do poppy collections and we do our own fundraising events as well. So we are out in the public eye and have to speak to members of the public. I think the misconception as well, like we said earlier, we are based on the traditions and customs of the Royal Navy, but the funding that we get from the Royal Navy is very limited. We are a charity in our own right, so we have to do all our own fundraising, which is done through our civilian committee. And we try and get the cadets involved as much as possible, but not too much, so we didn't bore them with shaking tins or packing bags or whatever, but we do try and get them involved.
What does it cost to run this every year?
Every year it's £10,000, and that's before we pay for any courses or any boats or any fuel or anything like that. So that's just the overheads of the building.
Just keeping things going, ticking over.
Keeping the building ticking over, insurances and things like that. So
that must have been quite difficult in lockdown then.
It was very difficult during lockdown. Karen, our unit management chairperson, she's come up with some ingenious ideas on how to keep the funds coming in over lockdown. And been quite lucky to gain some funding as well from other organisations. So we've been quite fortunate that way. And like I say, when we go down the building, it is a bit of a TARDIS. It's a lot bigger than what it looks on the outside, so trying to heat it and keep it warm, especially when you've got cadets staying down for weekends and stuff, can become a bit of a challenge. So if you want to head on, guys, we'll go to the next part.
Perfect, let's go to the next place. So where are we going next then?
I think we will go to what's called the wardroom, which is the staff room. So this area was refurbished about 3 years ago, and it's more like a staff room that you'd have in a school or a college. So it's just some place that the staff go, have a cup of coffee. We have got some parents in here at the minute and our unit management.
Hi guys.
Chairperson Karen. So as you can see, they're having a coffee and just relaxing. So this is where the staff would come to relax and get a breather from the cadets on a night and chill out for 5 minutes. And like I say, Karen's in charge of the unit management team committee, so...
And fundraising as well,
Fundraising, yeah, like I say, costs £10,000 a year to keep the unit open, so it was Karen's ingenious ideas through lockdown that kept the building ticking over.
Perfect. Okay, next, where are we going now?
Go through the accommodation.
This is like a TARDIS, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we're going to head through to accommodation. If we go through the female accommodation first, and we'll cut through across the middle area. This area is all just about to be renovated, hopefully.
Yeah.
So this is all separate from the original building.
Yep.
This was built about 15 years ago, so it's now starting to show a little bit of wear and tear. And as Casey puts the lights on, you'll see. So this is just a shell, basically, of wood and plasterboard, and it was added onto the building, let's say about 15, 16 years ago. And it is starting to show its age now.
Is this just for people visiting?
This is for our cadets as well, or any other units. So we have got 14 female beds here on this side, and we've got 14 male beds on the other side as well.
Yep.
Which basically is a duplicate.
Okay.
Showers, and then we've got 2 staff accommodations as well, which sleeps 4 staff in total.
Yeah.
And we do have units come and visit us from all over. We're part of the northern area, which covers Scotland, North East England, and Northern Ireland. So we can have units coming from wherever. We did have cadets come up from someplace down south a couple of years ago and use accommodation for a week. That was their camp. They come up to Scotland and they stayed with us.
Yeah.
We've had cadets from the American Sea Cadets, and we've got cadets coming from our district, which is Fife and Tayside. And we've got cadets coming from all over in February, just for a weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll be staying at that point. But the accommodation is here if we do need to use it. But our plan is this year to get all this ripped out and start over again. And bring it a little bit more up to date and a bit more modern for the 2022, hopefully. And
that's more funds on top of the 10,000 that you need.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah. And we are looking at the community, hopefully a community trade hub and local businesses and things like that to be supporting us to try and keep everything local, using local suppliers, for to try and keep it in the local area as much as we can and get the work done by local businesses.
Good.
We do try and use, like when we get our alarm systems and all that done, we try and keep it as local as we can rather than going nationally.
That's the thing, you know, if you use local traders, the money stays in the community.
Yeah, that's it.
And it just gets recycled within the community.
Exactly, try and benefit the community as much as we can. With our bigger organisation, which is the Marine Society and Sea Cadets, they're based down in London, and we can go to them for assistance and help, but they try and use it's more national companies that you use, where we try and keep it to the local smaller businesses that are going to be benefiting, like you say, the local community.
Perfect.
So if you want to follow Casey, we'll head out this door, and excuse the mess out there. We are storing some stuff for Wellesley Church at the minute, as part of their initiative they've got ongoing for trying to help people get into
you guys beat me to it.
Like so
you must have had a shortcut that I never knew anything about.
So on the other side here, Jim, it's just the same. This is the male side. And normally if we have a weekend, the space that we're in, this would be cleared, and the kids would have a chill out area as well, just some place for them to come and get away from the staff for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is the male side, and you can imagine what it's like in here on a weekend when you've got 14 teenage boys and screaming and shouting at each other, and
sweets and juice and parties and everything goes on. Yeah.
So if you want to head out, we'll go out to the boat shed and we'll show you some of the boats and stuff that we have. So it's, like I say, it is quite a big building. It does look like a barn on the outside, but it's all these little places. This caravan here we've recently acquired. This is a radio caravan, so it's kitted out inside with radio equipment. So when we do our radio training, we can have some cadets in the training classroom here. We can take the caravan away, and we've got 2 base stations that we can set up. Yeah. This porta cabin here we acquired last year. Yeah. This is going to be our wet change. And this building that you're coming into is our boat shed. This was purpose built about 10 years ago now. And it was Buckhaven Building Supplies that built the building. Along with Jim Bell Joinery. They did the trusses and stuff for the roof. Yeah. So in here we keep all our boats. So we've got our safety boat, which is the boat you can see in front of us. Yeah. We've got kayaks, we've got our rowing boat, we've got paddle boards. Up in the rafters we've got our sailing boats stored, and all our safety equipment. And we do engineering in here as well. So we've got engineering staff that come in. We've got old engines that we can work on. The kids can dismantle and rebuild. We do have some wetsuits and things that we loan out to the cadets. Obviously, not everybody can afford to buy their own safety.
It is a lot of money. A wetsuit's something like £100 or something like that.
And when kids grow at the rate they grow, it can be quite expensive.
It's an expensive thing.
We do try and as kids grew up, we hand in the older ones and then we switch and swap. So
Okay.
try and keep the cost into a minimum. On the cost, it's £2 a night for the kids
Yep.
to come along. And what they get out of it, as we've already discussed, is
Yeah.
quite a bit for £2. So in the courses, there is funding available if kids want to go on courses. We do have options open for grants and
Yeah.
part funding, so we try and keep the costs to a minimum.
And this Sky Warrior, what's this for?
This Sky Warrior, this is our XO's boat, our second in command's boat. It's just off the water for the winter and being stored in here at the minute.
Okay.
So that's no ours. I wish it was, but it's no.
And where do you train about then? You know,
We train about, our area of training for boating is from East Swings all the way along to Lower Largo to the Crusoe. So we've got a 3 mile limit from the safe water mark at Methil Harbour. So we do have a boat tied up alongside in the fairway at Methil Boat Club.
Yep.
So we do actually get out into the river itself. Kayaking we tend to do in the enclosed dock because it's sheltered and safe for the elements, and it gives the cadets a bit of a chance to get used to the cold and the water itself before actually chucking them into the big sea with the waves. So
How often do you do the kayaking then?
kayaking, our boating season starts in end of March, beginning of April, and that runs right through to September. So usually during daylight hours. So on a Monday and a Wednesday night, we're usually down here at 6:30 right through to 9 o'clock. We're on the water, and then we try and get weekends and stuff in as well. So we do kayaking, sailing, power boating, and rowing, and they're all recognised.
And that's all included in your £2?
All included in the £2.
Wow.
Yeah. We also get the opportunity to go along to South Queensferry, where we've got a purpose-built boat station that belongs to the MSSC.
Yeah.
We're a member of there, so we can go along there, give the cadets the basics here. We can go along there to do their assessment and get signed off by the RYA for their official qualification, which is internationally recognised. So, like James and Casey have got qualifications in RYA for power boating and sailing. James has got power level 1, Casey's got power level 2, and sailing stage 4. So our power level 2 allows you to go and buy a boat and take it out, and just like a driving licence, but for a boat. So she can drive a boat before she can drive a car, which is quite a big achievement, especially being out in the
That's cool though, eh?
It is, definitely.
What can you do? I could drive a boat.
Aye. Our younger cadets, for their boating, they can get qualifications in kayaking and sailing at the 10, 11-year-olds, so they get the basics, which then gives them that wee taster for when they get to 12, where they say, right, I want to go and do some more. So we do try and give the basics here as best we can.
Is it all glitz and glamour?
No,
because it sounds like
no,
it.
Not always.
I mean, it's like, hey, you can go boating, you can go surfing, you can go, you can go kayaking. It's fantastic. Let's have fires, let's have parties. And it's like, maybe isn't like that.
In the winter, obviously we can't get out in the water, so we do have other programmes that we do. Our winter season's mainly taken up with doing drill.
Drill, I was waiting to say that. That's a big thing.
It is, which helps with with the discipline. So that's marching and things like that. But the kids seem to really enjoy that for some strange reason. It wasn't my favourite.
Overcoming embarrassment as well.
Exactly.
Because there's a big thing about the fact when you get it wrong, people tend to castigate you.
They do.
And it's understanding how to deal with that and how to move on from that and actually build from that as well. And I think that's what this will teach you as well.
Definitely, because let's say in November we do our remembrance services. So we have a full weekend of events. We normally do a community service at Leedmouth Academy on the Friday evening, which is similar to the Royal Albert Hall. We then on the Saturday go down to the Polish Paratroop Memorial down at the Festival Gardens on the prom. And then Sunday we do the parade up at Methil itself. We organise that one, so the kids are out in public, dressed as they are in their full number 1 uniform, which again could be embarrassing if you've got friends here from school standing pointing you and you stick out like a sore thumb, especially when you've got a blue collar and a white cap on. And then we go to Cowdenbeath in the afternoon and we do a parade at Cowdenbeath. And then on the Sunday night we have the beacon lighting. So we've got a remembrance beacon up in the Memorial Gardens in Methil. And that was installed by 2 of our cadets 5 years ago. They're no longer with us. They've moved on to other things. One joined the Navy and one's currently at university. So they spoke to Balfour's down at Leven, and they managed to build us a beacon that's now a permanent fixture in Memorial Gardens in Methil. And we try and light that every Remembrance Sunday. So it's a big achievement for 2 cadets back then as well.
Excellent. I mean, what a fantastic facility.
Thank you.
I would never have dreamed that this is what went on here.
I think that's the thing.
I just thought it was normal drilling and what we'd call boring stuff. And I tell you what, I'm quite excited about the whole prospect of this place. And I wish I'd known this. I wish I'd known this was what this was all about way years ago.
I think that's a misconception. People see the building and it, like I said, it just looks like a big barn.
Yeah.
And they think cadets and they think of the old, back in the 60s, 70s, the cadets marching and drilling and, like you say, like the BBs and the scouts and things like that. But things have moved on and people have realised that obviously the kids need something. It's not just a case of getting in the house. So for giving up their time 2 nights a week, they do get recognised qualifications that they can take with them.
And so everybody knows where you are?
Where we are, I hope so.
Basically, it's probably the easiest way of saying East Fife.
East Fife
so the East Fife
Stadium.
Football Stadium, and then you just turn to your right before you come in.
Exactly.
And then you're straight along past Stewart's,
Yep.
the bakers and
That's it.
butchers. I have to mention butchers as well. And then you're at the end of there, basically.
Exactly, yeah. And we are signposted for the main road. It does say Sea Cadets.
Yeah.
That was thanks to one of our ex-cadets when he was a councillor, Charlie Haffey. He managed to get us some signage put up so people knew where we were. Because I think people tend to forget that we are here down the docks out the way sometimes. So,
Aye.
yeah, if anybody's interested, like I say, you've got the link to the Facebook page. Drop us a message on the Facebook page
direct
or
post.
come down and see us.
Final words, guys. What do you like best about this?
Like the things you can get out of it.
Things you can get out of it. What about yourself?
Experiences,
The experiences,
all the weekends and that.
the weekends, yep.
Boating.
The boating, yeah. I kind of would, the boating would appeal to me. Absolutely.
Definitely the boating. We have some cadets who come in, can't swim, never been in a boat in their life, and after 6-7 months we got them out in the water, jumping off the seawall and jumping off the boats into the dock. So
yeah, and of course we didn't get that at school anymore. Nobody teaches us how to swim,
no swimming or nothing
which
like
I
that
was
now, so
very surprised about. Something we're working on at the moment is a swim programme.
Well,
to bring that back as part of
Jim,
Fife Properties.
happy to help
Okay,
with that.
thank you very much, guys. I
thank you.
appreciate that. I'll just sign off here with everybody. And that's it, guys. The Methil Sea Cadets. Check them out. The link's on this page. And until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties TV.